So tell us, Tyler, how did this film come about, and like, where did the story come from?
So this film actually started, our crew's from Ottawa, we're Ottawa filmmakers, and this actually started as what was supposed to be part of a much larger anthology of short films from Ottawa filmmakers. And it didn't quite come to fruition. It had like one screening, but it was sort of like just a fun project. But we had made this short film that we were so proud of, and totally blew ourselves away with what we were able to do, and we just like hit the ground running with it. So we thought we'd take a chance and just put it in some festivals, and the response has been amazing. So here we are at Blood in the Snow 2016.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about scouting the location for this film. It seemed like you really had to. It really had to go with the theme of the film, and then really the actual location would actually make the film successful.
Absolutely. It's very clear. Anyone who sees the film is gonna has questions about our set and everything. And it very much was an experiment because the script went through about 3 or 4 different drafts, and the location kept on changing based on what we had access to and what we found. And what we actually arrived on, and what you see in the final product, is an old factory that's been abandoned for decades that is owned by somebody who's probably going to demolish it and turn it into something else. Right. And in the world of independent filmmaking, favor for a favor. Right. So, we got in contact with this guy, wonderful person, and he was able to let us have the factory for a weekend in exchange for, just being there with our cameras if we're needed in the future. So, very much an Ottawa community favor for a favor thing because, in the world of independent filmmaking, we don't all have budgets. So,
How does it feel to actually have a film that, didn't have a dialogue in the film, much dialogue? So does that make it easier for a filmmaker like yourself, or?
It's sort of strange because the short I had done before was all dialogue. It was very much a conversational thing, and it was an experiment in script writing and in natural dialogue and just finding that groove of feeling like a real conversation and stuff. Right. And then for this one, we sort of had the idea, let's go in a completely different direction. And we kept referring to it as an experiment in sound design because we decided to consciously try and tell a story without using dialogue and see if we could do that successfully. Mm-hmm. The lesson learned, I think, at the end is removing dialogue does not make anything any easier at all. And, anyone who would have thought that definitely would have been sadly mistaken. But what we wound up with was a movie where every sound matters when there's no dialogue to focus on. You're creating the atmosphere and you're creating the mood with the sound and the lack of sound in some instances. Letting it breathe is just as effective as putting sound in. So I think at the end, we had something like 50 audio tracks in a 5-minute short, and I worked with 3 members of a band I'm in on the side to do the actual compositions from scratch. So all the sound design, all the Foley, all the sound recording, and all the music was all done just from a group of friends, and we just worked really hard to make it as good as we possibly can. So
nice. When I watched this film, like there was not that much information on the internet about it, but when I actually watched the film, it surprised me and it shocked me. It was like that good, and I didn't have any expectations or anything like that. Can you maybe comment a little bit about how for a film like yours, it's better to have a word of mouth like advertising, right?
Absolutely, and it was very much a grassroots project. Our budget was minuscule at best, and like I said, it was a lot of favors for favors. A crew that worked. None of us got paid or anything like that. It was just a pure passion project for a group of friends, and we shot it on evenings and weekends outside of all of our normal jobs in video production companies and stuff in Ottawa. So ultimately, it just came down to a passion project. If we weren't passionate about this, it never would have been made. And for as far as the word of mouth goes, in the world of independent film and all that, it's so hard to compete with all this stuff. So, we might have even undersold ourselves by thinking maybe, we'll just try it, put it out there and whatever. And, just the response has been better than we expected. So, I think it's one of those things where it just goes to show you that ultimately if you have a thing and people like it, it'll find its way into the audience somehow, So I think it's like you said, the word of mouth, we didn't do a huge advertising campaign. There was no money for that. There was just no budget to do a huge campaign. So it was very much just sort of getting it out there and seeing what people think of it and then trying to create a conversation about it. So, yeah.
Tell us, how does it feel to be here at Blood in the Snow and being part of this film festival this year with your film?
It feels amazing. We've never been to Blood in the Snow. We didn't really know what to expect, but we showed up and it's just been a phenomenal festival. It's so well organized. The staff has been absolutely incredible, and the presence around the city is notable. Right. So for us, it's kind of a dream come true. And, it feels so great to finally be here with the other filmmakers and, seeing all these amazing products that people have put their heart and souls into. So it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with the film at here in Blood in the Snow, and talk to us soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks.